What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. Joining us again is my sister Jenny.
Hey, everybody.
And we're going to do another Loki reaction. Episode 4. We're more than halfway through the season at this point.
Isn't that wild?
Just a warning, guys. I didn't even remember about this last night before going to bed, and I almost didn't make this reaction. But Jenny peeked into my bedroom and was like, Mike, it's 3 o'clock. Are we doing Loki? And I was like, oh my God, I almost completely forgot. But I'm excited because we've been loving it so far, and we're even though we're more than halfway through, there's still so much mystery.
I love this because they've covered so much really weighty, hefty philosophical ground in the space of 3 episodes, and yet it feels like there's so much story left to tell. We might not get all the answers we seek, you know, by the end of this season. I know they're planning for future seasons, so we might be left with open-ended questions, which I'm okay with, actually.
Yeah. And it's at this point, like, there's this mystery around the Timekeepers, whether they're even real or not, whether they were real, whether there's like a Wizard of Oz man behind the curtain kind of scenario going on. And the Lamentis 1 planet that they got left on, or are stuck on now, Loki and Lady Loki, or Sylvie as we're calling her now, there's basically no way off for them. So we're assuming at this point there's no other way that this scenario is going to end other than Mobius and the Timekeepers showing up to arrest them and take them out.
I see 2 possible scenarios. One is the TVA/Mobius himself, who we like, he's a good guy, showing up and scooping them out of harm's way. And the other possibility that we have discussed is that perhaps Loki has been fooling Sylvie with an illusion, and that the Tempad has worked all along. Got to admit, that would be kind of on brand for Loki. It would be a breach of trust in this newfound dynamic that he's building with his other self, his sort of sister self. So he would have some bridges to repair. If that is indeed the case. So we really are just going to have to wait and see what happens, presumably in the first moments of this episode. We're going to find out. And the
title of this episode is The Nexus event, as we saw, you know, her little time bomb situation sort of set off the timeline, and that kind of was the Nexus event. But then we had this whole, as we called it, bottle episode on Lamentis 1 last week. So we're kind of assuming we're going to pick up where we left off, and Mobius is going to show up, theoretically, and take them. Because they missed the arc.
We're gonna see what happens. Let's go.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah.
Dragon swoops towards the palace.
Is this little Sylvie? This is her timeline. Flashback.
There's our variant.
It's Ravonna Renslayer.
The authority of the Timekeepers, I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline.
She's a child.
It's just a kid. Oh my God. Yeah, they're bad people.
These folks are not okay. They kill everybody else. Her parents, everybody,
dead,
without a word of explanation. Well, dang, I'd have a chip on my shoulder, too.
Next case.
That's right.
Okay.
She is a Loki.
Okay.
Good girl.
Ooh, cool lighting.
Smoke.
Yep. Is this the Timekeeper's lair? She looks nervous. Dude, what?
Triple Wizard of Oz. Come on, that's just like the Wizard of Oz, but there's 3 of them. Right?
Okay, they were actual.
They had little glowing eyes.
There.
Yeah, but the Wizard of Oz was terrifying too.
Yeah.
And he was just a short, bald dude.
She could have information.
She's dead, Mobius.
Did they euthanize her?
The variant. She enchanted C20. Scrambled her mind.
Covered their tracks. They murdered her.
By the time she got in here, she could barely speak.
This
You're
is
next,
the time
Mobius.
Gestapo. These are bad people.
Any news on C20?
No.
She got enchanted too. We've got to assume she might have some residual.
Yeah, he also just lied to her and didn't tell her about
Didn't
C20.
tell her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bureaucratic, you know, procedure. But if she finds any of this out and has some of that enchantment left, she might turn.
Dude, holy crap.
Oh, wow.
You ever seen a branch like that?
By our powers combined.
Oh, it's literally just going straight to the red
to
line.
the red line.
We're gonna get a red line. Okay, so this is the Nexus event.
That's gonna be the Nexus event.
Do it.
Do it. Whoa.
Hmm.
Wow. Both colored. It's like separating twins at this point.
By the way, I should have an equal amount of security. This is insulting. All right, it's ready. What is this?
It's a red door.
Mm-hmm.
The TVA is lying to you.
Yep.
Put him in. Seriously?
Is this
That's
Asgard
what
again?
I was gonna say. Lady Sif.
You.
Didn't know we were gonna see her.
Pathetic worm. You did this.
What? Ow. A bad memory prison? How quaint.
That sucks.
Bad memory prison. Is this like his own personal Sartrean hell?
You conniving, craven, pathetic worm.
Over and over again. No exit. Hell is other people,
I hope-
right?
She's just too dangerous.
Too dangerous. Come on, Ramona, this is what I do.
And this is what I do. Nobody speaks with that variant.
I mean, if there's a mastermind here, I don't think it's Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Kree, Titans, vampires. Why is it the two orphan demigods are such a pain in the
Vampires. Blade.
Vampires.
So the TVA's lying to me.
Just doing my job.
Okay,
That
good.
caught her attention.
You are doing
Yep.
your job, girlfriend.
Yep.
Keep it up.
Yep.
I cut off your hair because I thought it'd be funny, and it's not. I crave attention.
Forcing him to be honest with himself.
I'm a narcissist. It's because I'm scared of being alone.
Wow.
That was a bit, but he played it to perfection.
Oh, okay.
Tell him everything you know.
Okay, you said the TVA's lying to me. Go ahead. Okay, so if you're not working for the variant, what is it? Your partners?
Of course it was me pulling the strings all along. She came to me,
Nah, he's making this up.
and that's where we hatched our plan together.
Yeah, no.
Well, we saved you the trouble there. She's already been pruned.
He doesn't know that. He's
Set you free. Is that gonna be...
Wait, hang on. What did you just say?
What? She's gone. Yeah. Not before she took out 2 of ours.
No, Mobius is making this up
He's
too. They're
making
both
this up,
lying to
yeah.
each other. Yeah.
2 variants of the same being, especially you, forming this kind of sick, twisted romantic
you did
relationship.
say. Mm-hmm.
What a incredible seismic narcissist! You fell for yourself. Crush
You're
on.
all variants! Everyone who works at the TVA. The Timekeepers didn't create you, they kidnapped you from the timeline.
He knows about C20.
So before this, you had a past. Maybe you had a family.
Jet
A
skis.
jet ski! Did she hear?
Let's hope.
Oh, yeah.
Either that or her memories are
She's
just...
remembering stuff.
All right, all right.
Open the door.
She's going rogue.
Yeah. What
Come
now?
with me.
Let's go somewhere quiet where we can talk.
Anywhere and anytime on the timeline. Where'd you go?
I like being here now with you.
The variant scares the hell out of me, and I didn't want to see anything happen to you.
Yeah, right.
C20 lost her mind.
Everybody's a liar in this show.
Yeah.
Is that a Loki knife?
Oh, what's he doing?
Oh. He took her
He
temp
took
pad.
her temp pad?
Yeah, she must have a different one.
Is her history in there, maybe? Her travel history?
She didn't clear her cache.
Right.
Thanks for the drink.
Everyone's lying to everyone. No one
Mhm.
trusts anyone. It's impossible to tell when people are being sincere or not, or only partially.
When you were in my head, I saw something. What did you do to me? I showed you your life before the TVA. Your variants.
It's the thing she hates.
Show me. I looked happy. What now?
Let's kick some ass.
I lived down there. I went to that bar. I had friends. And I'm a variant. So are you. So is every single person in this place. I'm ending this.
He can see she looks alarmed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, truth hurts, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Nexus event the two of you caused, I think whatever that connection is, can bring this whole place down.
Yes! Yes!
You're right about the TVA. And if you want to save her, you need to trust me. You can be whoever, whatever you want to be. Even someone good. I mean, just in case anyone ever told you different.
Aww. That's so sweet!
It's sweet, but I feel like Mobius just became so killable. Yeah.
I think you have something of mine.
Oh, dude, are they gonna delete him?
You know where I go if I could go anywhere? Wherever it is I'm really from.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I had a jet ski. That's what I'd like to do. Jet ski.
Prune him.
Saw it coming, man. Dude, that sucks.
That's rough.
Alright, she's officially a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And needs to die now. I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, no, I
there.
mean, they made that kind of obvious, but that's still rough.
You gonna bring him before the Timekeepers? Or whatever those things are.
What was my Nexus event? Why did you bring me in? I don't remember.
Dude.
Gracious Timekeepers.
At last, you've arrived before us.
I've lost track of the number of times I've been killed, so go ahead.
I feel like they look like goofy Muppets.
Delete them.
No, I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah,
baby.
girl!
For all time.
Always.
Yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Let's do this. Don't cut this short, Disney. Let this scene play out. Don't let it end here. Yes. Oh, shit.
We can talk.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, fake.
Mm-hmm.
Who's behind this charade?
Charade.
Yeah, the robots.
It's like, yeah, reminiscent of Alien Ian Holmes' head coming off.
Mindless androids.
It never stops.
I feel you, buddy.
Aliens, androids, and wizards, right?
Who created the TVA?
Kang?
She didn't kill Renslayer, though. She just knocked her out.
Uh-huh.
I have to tell you something. This is new for me.
They're gonna kiss?
You professing his love to her?
Shut up!
What the fuck?
Do it. You're gonna tell me everything.
Oh my goodness.
Am I dead?
Not yet. But you will be unless you come with us.
Wait, dude, what? Loki variants! Oh shit, dude!
Oh man!
Alright, dude. Okay, that was crazy. None of those were the variants that they showed us.
No, but you could tell from the costumes, etc., that that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Alright, dude. Crazy.
So much happened in this episode. I mean,
almost like the overarching theme of this episode is nothing is what it seems. Everyone's
lying, and no one trusts anybody. Yeah. I mean, it's that culture of distrust and fear that you see in books like 1984. You know, films like Brazil, which was based on 1984. Like this idea that if you create distrust, you can maintain control.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. We went from a quasi-bottle episode last week where it was slower, and although there was a planet dying, we sort of had time for pensive conversations. And then this week was like action, 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 major plot twist to major plot twist, one after the other. So we got B-15 waking up and seeing the truth. We got Mobius waking up and seeing the truth, and then we lost him, at least for now, which was, it was obvious in the moment that was going to happen, but it's less obvious from an overarching sort of plot perspective, because where do you go with Owen Wilson from here, right?
Yeah,
When do we get what does he
I
get
hate to
Jesse?
say this, but I feel like the Owen Wilson pruning felt more final than the Loki one,
Yes,
because
it did.
it seemed at the end there that the Loki variants were like intervening in his pruning somehow, because he was like, "Am I dead?" They're like, "Well, you will be if you don't come with us." So it seems like
they're like the time resistance, and they're all made, and apparently they're all Lokis.
Yeah, I'm
right?
still holding out hope that like we will get Owen Wilson on a jet ski at the end, looking happy. I mean,
really,
oh man,
really.
one of the most tragic moments of this episode was B-15 saying, "I looked happy."
Yeah. Oh God, that was so heartbreaking.
Yeah. I liked though they went to that apocalypse event, but they were just in the rain. Like the rain almost felt cleansing for a second
Very
there,
much
because
so.
she was like learning the truth and having that brief moment of truth when everything else is a lie. Just felt
That was
very
beautifully shot. That was beautifully acted. You could see Wunmi Mosaku going through that emotional journey. That was like gorgeously.
And it was awesome how she came through too. How she busted in. We don't even know that she's ever even been up on that elevator before.
Right.
That might have been the first time she walked in that room, for all we know. Because Mobius had never seen the Timekeepers.
No.
And yeah, at first we were like, this is sort of wonky CGI. That looks kind of goofy.
They looked like goofy Muppets. They really looked.
But it really was like,
me.
that's almost on purpose, because they're not literally not real.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that bored bureaucrat having people walk through the like robot detector device, like the Timekeepers themselves are robots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a man behind the curtain scenario, but we still don't
haven't
know
seen the man behind
who the man
curtain.
behind the
It's
curtain
the man
is.
behind the Muppets in this case. You know.
Yeah.
I said before, very reminiscent of Alien, but like Ian Holm in that movie he's aware he's an android, but the rest of them aren't.
Yeah.
And he's taking orders from Weyland-Yutani. He's taking orders from like the distant company, who we never see in the course of that movie, and doing things like doing away with his own fellow crew members because the company has told him to. So it was very reminiscent of that for me. You have these silly robots that have managed to maintain a culture of fear in the stead of whoever is actually pulling the strings.
Dude, I just want to point out that like I said it was awkward, and like it's not something that I was necessarily saying like, oh, I want it to be that way, but like they in the last episode implied that Loki and Sylvie were having like a moment
Chemistry.
with each other.
Yeah.
And that like, okay, well, he admitted to being bisexual, but really it was like, oh, he's a narcissist. Like, of course he's going to be in love with himself.
Yeah.
Of all the people for him to fall in love with,
It was so awkward,
it would end up being a
and
variant
we were
of
like,
himself.
please don't go there. And I really think he was about to kiss her.
Yeah, he was about to like
preemptively pruned.
profess his love to her and
Yeah.
like, presumably kiss her before he got pruned. Yeah,
Weird. Too much Game of Thrones, but fascinating. We still don't know for sure what caused that insane branch that was heading straight for the red line.
Yeah.
Is it just that the two of them were together?
Yeah.
Was it that they held hands?
Mobius kind of outlined why it was, and he was just like, oh yeah, what you just said. It was the fact that it was two Lokis
in the same spot. But to me, that was all silliness aside, that was a sort of a by our powers combined moment. And I was like, the first episode of the show was called Glorious Purpose, and they kind of made fun of Loki in that episode because he was like, I have glorious purpose to be the god of space or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe Loki in general, not just our Loki, not just Tom Hiddleston Loki, but like Loki the being, the entity across dimension, does have a glorious purpose, and it's to defeat the TVA.
Yeah.
And so they really do. All the Lokis and Sylvies, etc., have to come together, and by their powers combined, they're going to like save the world. Well, so that's pretty cool.
They created that Nexus event or whatever that was, like you said, it was going straight to the timeline, but we got shown a scene of them, the TVA first arriving when Sylvie was a little girl to take her and prune her entire life timeline, and then we see how she escapes by stealing the TemPad. But then later on, Sylvie is like, "What was my event? Why were you there in the first place?
What was so bad that you felt?"
And
the need
Ravonna,
to...
like the bitch that she is, was like, "I don't know, I don't remember."
That little smirk on her face, she was enjoying that a little too much.
And to me, that signified it's like there was no Nexus event. There's much more sinister reason why they're showing up and kidnapping a kid that has nothing to do with a Nexus event being created.
Absolutely.
There probably was no Nexus event.
It's just genocide. It's literally just genocide.
Well, either that or they, because the time works differently in the TVA, they're able to know that she eventually becomes a variant that causes all this disturbance. So
so it's like go back and
pre-prune her,
kill Sarah Connor before like John's born, right?
And that almost gave me. I don't know if you remember the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
I just rewatched it because there's so many
major
synchronicities.
flashbacks to that movie, and where it was like, wow, they're like arresting people before they've committed a crime for crimes they're going to commit, presumably.
I just rewatched it this week because I actually did think there were a lot of synchronicities. Because one of the things that Colin Farrell and Tom Cruise both sort of learn in that movie is that like there are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Like no matter how perfect you think your technology is, there's always human error.
I saw a bunch of Minority Report similarities to that all came into my mind, which was like they also have like little halos that they wear to like make people, turn into easily controllable prisoners or whatever. And so they have the collars and this. It's so I love seeing those similarities.
I rewatched a bunch of old sci-fi this past week because I was thinking in my head of like sort of where there were synchronicities, where there were either like direct inspirations for what Kate Herron has done here or just sort of thematic similarities. And that was one of the ones I watched. It was a really great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many little shades of things that went on. Like this character, Ravonna Renslayer, became a much more complex character this week. We learned that she's a baddie, that she probably enjoys this genocidal activity a little too much. But it also seemed in that very first scene when she went in to see the Timekeepers, it seemed to me like she was actually nervous.
Yeah.
Meaning she believed, like she's a religious zealot. She's doing what she's told. It's sort of like a Mandalorian type thing where it's like, this is the way. We follow the Timekeepers, the sacred timeline. And she's uncritically accepting the story she's been told.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's a bit too much of a willing lieutenant in their oppressive thing.
I saw so much of it coming, like right before it came. Like I said, when I mentioned Loki went in to finally be like, all right, I believe you. I'm sorry, Mobius went in to tell Loki, all right, I believe you. And I was like, oh, right away, I'm like, oh, Mobius is about to die. Like it just felt like he just made himself killable. I said, and then it was literally 8 seconds later.
They gave us the jet ski thing for the second time this week, and I almost wonder if, like, after all of this is sorted out, after the TVA goes down and whatever's gonna happen, I almost wonder if like Loki jumps back into the 90s and sees the original Mobius or whatever version of Mobius that is on a jet ski, and Mobius doesn't recognize him, but Loki's just gonna see him one last time.
I said it felt final, like that's the end of Mobius, but I do feel like there's some hope for, like you said, Loki gaining control over the timeline in some way towards the end. Maybe if there's going to be a second season, the story will go on, but if they do come out on top, so to speak, then maybe they'll know more about how the timeline works and how it's not necessarily just this single. Like we do know we're coming up on multiverse of madness, and
well, and
presumably multiple timelines are going to be part of the storyline moving forward.
Variants at the end. He's joining the Resistance now. We've talked about Blade Runner before, which obviously has some big inspirations aesthetically, at the very least, for this movie. But it makes me think about how like there was sort of a replicant resistance movement, especially in the new Blade Runner. They went much deeper into this in like the new Blade, the more recent one, the sequel, Ryan Gosling, but that there was this like replicant resistance movement, literally, and Harrison Ford had joined them and whatever. And it's almost like that. He's joining the underground. He's joining the like resistance against the time Nazis. Which, I mean, it really is. This is, once again, a story like straight out of 1984. There's the resistance that Winston has to join or whatever, So this is exactly the glorious purpose he's been intended for.
What happened to B-15 at the end there? Why wasn't she in the room with the three of them at the end there?
Yeah, I was wondering as well.
Did she just like throw this knife and then like kill some TVA agents.
I am unclear about what happened.
I didn't see her get taken down.
I don't think so. But
I'm not sure
we'll
what
find
happened
out.
there.
That fight scene was fantastic.
Yeah, that was
I was
fun.
like, yes, give me more, give me more.
I was afraid
like,
there for a second
feed
that they were
me.
going to cut it off and be like,
Right.
next week.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, no, they gave us like a great scene. You know, it's funny. We've talked about sort of the existential question that's going on here, which is this idea, like, if you already know how things were supposed to end, can you change your fate? And there are sort of two main points of view on this. One is, well, if you know the ending, you have the tools to change it. It's like if you've already played through the video game, you know where the traps are, and you'll have an easier time the second time around when you play it again.
Yeah.
But then the other point of view is, if you've already been told the ending, you kind of jinx yourself, and it's always going to be in your head, dragging you back to the same pattern no matter how hard you resist. So it's sort of like, which way is the show going to go? And it really had been very unclear what philosophical perspective the show was going to espouse. And this week it went hard for, like, you can change it. You have the power to affect fate. You got to work together, kids, you know, but it's very hopeful. That was actually, despite the multiple sort of sad events that we had this week, whether it was the pruning of Mobius, that heartbreaking moment for B-15, the temporary pruning of Loki, multiple sort of real sort of tearjerker moments, it actually ends on a bit of a hopeful note.
Yeah.
Philosophically.
Yeah.
I like that.
Another new thing we saw was that they have like they create the red door and then send them into a time loop. And I'm like, well, speaking of callbacks, that was reminded me of the Dormammu scene in Doctor
Absolutely,
Strange.
yes. Dormammu, I'm here to make a deal, or whatever he said.
Yeah, just having like you're doomed to like repeat the same thing over and
It
over.
also
and over
had
and
like
over.
the Groundhog Day sort of connotation, like
Yeah.
you've got to learn your lesson. And he had that moment where he was like, I am a terrible
Forced to
person, I'm
tell
a
the truth.
narcissist.
Yeah.
And it was like, is he playing her just so that she doesn't kick him in the nuts again?
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yes.
there's also grains of truth in it for
Yeah.
him. There's a very fine line.
Even
of,
when
like,
he's telling the truth, he's still lying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And Tom Hiddleston played that so subtly. I
So
was
well,
watching
yeah.
so carefully and being like, is he being sincere or not? And it's like, well, both.
Yeah.
Definitely both.
Yeah.
It was beautiful the way he played that moment. It had also, yet again, hints of Jean-Paul Sartre, like, no exit. Hell is other people. It's your own personal hell that you're stuck in forever. So
All right, so wait a minute. I wanna take one more look at these variants and see what
let's
we
have a
have
look.
here. Okay, we have a kid Loki with
Loki?
an alligator.
we've got a Loki with some
Old man Loki, which do we recognize the actor?
Yeah, it's Richard E. Grant.
Richard
He's
E. Grant.
So good.
Oh yeah,
Love him.
he played like an first order general in one of the Star Wars sequels. He's definitely like a very
he's a very
scary
accomplished. He's an accomplished like character actor. He can do anything.
And also we have like big beefy black Loki
with some version of Thor's hammer or
go-
something. Like,
Loki.
yeah.
Hell yeah, though, this is great. And like I said, none of these are Lokis that we saw in the
Oh,
other
look, there's
variants.
like an crocodile Loki. He's
just-
got his own little horse.
I just said kid Loki with an alligator.
Okay, I didn't see.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
that's so funny.
And they're in this bombed out world.
Interesting that this Loki variant, the Bloki, has a hammer, like a.
That's what I just. It's like almost like Thor's hammer, but it's like a steampunk.
But
kinda
clearly,
looking.
where they're standing is like a post-apocalyptic. The world has already ended.
Wherever they are.
Wherever they are.
I'm
yeah.
really looking forward to meeting all of these folks. They look cool.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that these are also Lokis that have been pruned, that are like marooned somewhere here.
More
and that-
temporal
or,
orphans.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out more. But this is exciting, guys. Let us know what you thought
We're
about
so
this
excited. This was
crazy,
great.
crazy episode. If you want to see a fully unedited reaction, we'll put one up on patreon.com/JediDrive. The link will be below. Also, if you want to check out the Jedi Drive Discord, I'll put the link for that below as well. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Please leave a comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.